So I'm going to be reselling this HP on Craigslist. I put in the GTX 750. I've loaded up some games and tested them, and I kind of forgot how weak a GTX 750 or even a 750 Ti is. They're a pretty weak graphics card. They have a, they kind of reached legendary status as the budget gaming card a few years ago, and I think everybody kind of hears GTX 750 Ti and they still have like a nostalgia for it. It's actually pretty weak to today's standards. I mean, the new 1050 Ti just really blows it away. And I downloaded 3D Mark and I tested it, and it gets a 3515. So I went ahead and wrote down 3515 and all these little FPS numbers in the graphics score, physics score, and the combined score. And now I'm going to run it again. Alright, we're done retesting with a slight overclock on the graphics card. And it went from 3515 to 3530. I'm going to try to push that 750 to the limit on its overclock, and I'm also going to install this, the A83850 that I just got in the mail. Alright, now that we've done Fire Strike, I think before I switch out that CPU, I'm going to run some games and see where we're at. Right now I got Skyrim, Tomb Raider, Shadow Complex, and The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is really taxing this computer, to say the least. I actually put it down into 720p just to run it at good frames, you know what I mean? So let's start out with The Witcher.
This fine's tale begins near White Orchard.
Alright, we're back in White Orchard. And like I said, I have it on 720p, but it honestly doesn't look that bad. And I've played The Witcher on some pretty high settings, pretty much ultra settings. And 720p, I mean, we're still getting in the 40s, so I think that's respectable. The GTX 750 is running at 99%. The CPU's in the 70s and 80s, so I'm pretty sure like 720p is about the max that we're going to be doing in this. I don't know, I still think like the textures and stuff look pretty darn good. See that? I mean, that's some pretty good texture, even though it's 720p. Alright, let's do a different game. Now we will do... let's do Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is a little bit older game. I can't remember exactly the year it came out, maybe 2012. I'm not sure exactly. But it runs a lot better than The Witcher. I also, I'm going to be putting that A8 in here, so we'll see how much better everything plays after that. Ooh, we just had to drop down into the 30s for a second there. So that's Tomb Raider. Forgot there's a couple wolves. Ah, forgot about this part. Ah, death. No, I died. I totally forgot about those wolves. Anyways, on to the next game. Started The Witcher 3 again, and I changed the graphics settings a little bit. Let's see, everything's the same, 1366 by 768 resolution, but I got the background characters on high, medium, 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 and I put the textures quality up to ultra because I'm just not used to 720p and I was trying to make it look better. So I set the textures on ultra, foliage visibility range is still on high, detail levels on high. So post-processing, I got the sharpening on high, ambient occlusions on, and light shafts. So between sharpening being on high and textures being on ultra, 720p is looking pretty good. This A6 CPU is being taxed pretty heavy. A lot of times it's at 100%, but the GPU is staying at 100%, also 99%. I have reached the outskirts of Novigrad, and this poor CPU is pegged at 100% pretty much all the time. And when I enter a new area where the game's kind of loading, I get some pretty bad FPS drops down into the 20s. So let's see how it does in the city, which I'm thinking it's going to be pretty bad. But we'll see. Oh, big drop down to 24. Now we're pretty much in the high 20s, low 20s. I just hit a 23 right there. That's pretty bad. It's playing pretty shitty at this point. It's not looking good for this system running The Witcher 3. As of right now, we can't even handle this game on low settings with everything turned off. Let's see if it gets any better when we switch out that CPU. One thing I didn't do is I didn't mess with the CPU and stuff when I got it, because I knew I was going to be upgrading the CPU to a better one anyway. So this is the A8 3850, and we're going to go ahead and take out that A6 and replace it. See if we can get some better numbers, some better FPS. Alright, let's go ahead and turn on the HP and see what we get with that A8. It's booting. It's a good sign. My $18 eBay CPU upgrade. I think the first thing I should do is probably run 3D Mark again. Okay, 3D Mark Fire Strike just finished, and surprisingly, I'm surprised, that CPU actually made quite a bit of difference. The overall score went from 3515 up to 3773. Over 200 points in the overall score. Not too bad in my opinion. Now I already did Geekbench, and I'm gonna do it again just to see what kind of score we get. Alright, we just finished up Geekbench and switching out the A6 to the A8. Single core went from 1538 to 1836. Multi-core went from 4598 to 5664. It's not too bad. It's a decent bump up. Now what we got to do is do some games. See what kind of difference we get. See if The Witcher 3 is actually playable now, which it probably still won't be, but we'll try it anyways. Okay, so we're back in Novigrad. We got everything set to low and everything turned off. The CPU is still at 100%. It's not doing, I mean, it's actually playable now. Look at, we're in 40s. There's like no one on the streets. Look at, there's absolutely no one. I couldn't play the game like this with just no NPCs. This system is definitely not meant for games like The Witcher 3. I didn't think it was, but I still figured it was worth testing it out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to test Skyrim. We're at a steady 60 FPS and I don't remember how to run. Oh, here we go. And we're on some really pretty high settings right here. This game, you know, this game's a little bit old, but it's running absolutely excellent. I'm in Riverwood. And we're getting 40s and 50s. Oh, there's a spike to 61. So the system can play games like this without a hitch at all, and it still looks really nice. Witcher 3, not so much. Everything looks really nice. I played most of my Skyrim on the Xbox 360, so to see performance like this just really blows away the 360 experience. Any of these older games are going to look really nice on this machine. And any kind of esports games. Let's put this thing on Craigslist. How much do you guys think I should list it for? I'm thinking about 140 bucks with a couple games installed like Skyrim and Shadow Complex and probably Tomb Raider. So let me know in the comments how much I should list this thing for. It's looking pretty good.